overwhelming numbers to determine the future of Canada's largest province. Should Quebec stay part of Canada or go its own way as an independent, mostly French-speaking nation? The stakes are high for Canada, Quebec, and the United States. John Roberts in Montreal begins our coverage.
What? Thank you.
Quebec today was a province divided. In Montreal's English-speaking neighborhoods, the urgency was to save Canada.
Did my job.
I feel terrible. I feel absolutely terrible. This is my country, and I'm very concerned.
Across town, in this predominantly French-speaking separatist stronghold, voters stood calmly on line. Many had waited 15 years for this moment. Another few minutes wouldn't matter. Separatists hoped to turn back their devastating loss in 1980, when independence failed by a wide margin. These are the people who believe Quebec's unique status as an island of French culture deserves nationhood.
I'm 29 years old, and I want to build a country, and I'm willing to try it.
The implications of an independent Quebec reach beyond Canada's borders. It would force the United States to define a new relationship with Canada and a French-speaking country of 7 million people on America's northern border. Separatist leader Lucien Bouchard, who campaigned with his California-born wife, has maintained, with the U.S., nothing will change.
They are free traders. We are friends. We are partners. Where's the problem? We are a democracy. We like the Americans. We happen to like them more than this Canada.
But the potential impact on the $300 billion in trade each year between the U.S. and Canada is far from clear. The Canadian dollar and stock markets had plunged just from the fear of separation. It's a hint of what might lie ahead, according to opponents of independence like former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney.
This is a very irreversible and irretrievable step. You're going to throw away your country, not a prime minister or a president.
For 30 years, Quebec has tried to resolve its differences with Canada through negotiation, a process that's proved fruitless. In the end, independence may be the only way to finally put this issue to rest. John Roberts, CBS News, Montreal.
The White House is keeping a wary eye on the situation in Quebec. And on this one, the whole administration is in total accord. No one wants to see a divided Canada. In fact, White House aides tell CBS News that Mr. Clinton was hoping that reporters would ask him about succession at a news conference last week so he could give this endorsement of the status quo.
I can tell you that a strong and united Canada has been a wonderful partner for the United States.
President Clinton, who's forged a close relationship with Canadian Prime Minister Jean Chrétien, also made it a point to state that today's vote is an internal issue. But U.S. officials say secession would create complicated questions about Quebec's role in international affairs, including participation in the North American Free Trade Agreement and the NATO military alliance. And House Speaker Newt Gingrich claimed the U.S. should learn a lesson from what happened in Canada and reassert English as the one and only official language here.
People who are capriciously for bilingualism need to recognize there are long-term dangers to the fabric of our society.
But most of all, U.S. officials say they don't want to see America's closest ally distracted by a long and debilitating internal struggle. Rita Braver, CBS News at the White House.
And international diplomacy footnote and foul up at the White House today. What if you arrived for a royal reception and nobody came out to greet you? The King and Queen of Norway arrived at the White House courteously early and waited and waited and waited. Eventually, before any royal fuss could develop, an official protocol officer finally showed up. Then a couple of more minutes until the First Lady finally came to meet and greet. More waiting, and then finally the presidential greeting. No word on whether sardines were on the menu. Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, the soldiers shot dead at Fort Bragg. Today, the funeral and more questions. And later, Eye on America, the fight against violent crime, and one community that said, enough is enough.
Over the last 150 years, all kinds of companies that said they'd be there when you needed them didn't stand up to their promises. That's life. Our policy of thoughtful, prudent investing has kept us, well, A pillar of strength for the last 150 years. That's New York Life, the company you keep.
Anacin, more relief than the regular strength of Bayer or Tylenol. Anacin, when you really got a headache.
Fibercon or Metamucil? Both give you the same predictable regularity, the same natural action of fiber. So what makes Fibercon different? With Fibercon, I get my fiber in 2 caplets. Fibercon, fiber regularity that's easier to take.
A funeral today for a patriot. The U.S. Army soldier killed by a comrade in Friday's shooting spree at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Violence within the U.S. military is becoming more and more common. National Security Correspondent David Martin reports on what may be behind it.
At the funeral today, Major Stephen Badger's widow told how he had died in the pre-dawn pandemonium which broke out when a fellow soldier opened fire on paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne. She said her husband had been killed running toward the gunfire in an attempt to disarm the sniper.
He was a true American hero. He ultimately gave that last full measure of devotion, and you can't ask for more than that.
The hail of fire left 20 other soldiers injured. All are now expected to live. The suspected sniper, Sergeant William Kreutzer, remains in custody but has not yet been charged. Nursing some as yet unknown grudge, Kreutzer had allegedly moved out of his barracks and returned to lie in wait for his unit as it began the morning run.
Cases like this grab headlines, but behind the headlines lies an overall increase in reports of violence in the military, which some experts link to cutbacks in the size of the armed forces. Those cutbacks have cost many servicemen their jobs and placed greater demands on those who remain.
When that military member has to go away for 30 or 60 or 90 days, and that creates a lot of extra stress that civilian families don't have to deal with.
Defense Department figures show that in each year since the cutbacks began, the rate of spouse abuse has gone up. Last year, the commander of an Air Force fighter wing in Germany reported that spouse abuse was up 9% and child abuse up 20%. The commander blamed it on the strains caused by the constant demands placed on a smaller military. In the Army, suicides went up sharply as the cutbacks took effect and have only recently started to decline.
Outside experts have told the Pentagon these trends are no different from what they see in the civilian world of corporate downsizing. Wearing a uniform, they say, does not make you immune. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
The paramilitary activities of this country's federal law enforcement agencies are coming under investigation again. Some in Congress say they're concerned that these agencies are taking on roles that were never intended. Correspondent Jim Stewart has our report on that.
The militia movement may be paranoid, but it's right about one thing. There are federal agents dressed in black ninja-like uniforms. They do carry automatic weapons, and some are trained killers. In fact, there may be far more of them than anyone suspected, as Congress has discovered preparing for a new round of hearings on Waco.
Here's a hostage rescue team member at Waco.
Looks like Desert Storm.
Well, it does. I mean, no, since when do we use this type of activity against American citizens?
It is activity that dates itself to the 1970s and the scare of Middle East terrorism. In response, several federal agencies formed their own special operations teams. They now total well over 1,000 and include even the tiny Capitol Hill Police and U.S. Customs Service. They train mostly at remote military bases using military-style maneuvers. They're rarely seen by the public except in moments of high drama, like this response by Secret Service assault team in Panama, or when U.S. Park Service snipers killed a man who said he had a bomb in front of the Washington Monument. But it is their use in cases far fuzzier than those, like Waco and Ruby Ridge, that most worry some members of Congress.
The American people don't deserve, as a general rule, don't deserve having paramilitary organizations coming after them to resolve problems that could be resolved otherwise.
And the mere introduction of paramilitary forces, says critics, tends to chill other police efforts to negotiate an end to a crisis.
When one side's whole approach is to keep their finger on the trigger, the other side is necessarily going to keep its finger on the trigger.
As for the FBI, under heavy pressure, it has told Congress that finger on the trigger belongs to Director Louis Freeh. Effective now, only he can order deployment of the FBI SWAT team, and only he alone. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
President Clinton weighed in today on two growing controversies involving crime and punishment. The president today rejected proposals to equalize penalties for cocaine and crack cocaine offenses. Crack charges now carry heavier penalties amid accusations that this discriminates against African-American suspects. Also today, the president rejected calls to reduce penalties for drug money laundering. This comes as the New York Times today reported that Colombian drug thugs in Calais are using more than 100 U.S. businesses now to launder their drug profits. Coming up, is there a cure for the killer Ebola virus, and do the Russians have it?
How much closer are our precision heads? Our innovative lift and cut system? How much better is the latest Norelco? In a word, we've never brought you closer. The Norelco Razor, our closest shave ever.
The doctor said, what? Listen, if you're a woman and you get heartburn, should you take my Lanta liquid, which has aluminum and magnesium? Or should you take Tums Ultra with calcium? Something your body needs anyway. If you're not sure, ask your doctor. See what she says.
You know, there's nothing more fun than a vacation at sea. You can lounge in the fresh air, visit romantic ports, enjoy fine dining, great shows, pampered service. I love it here. There's so much to do.
Holy cow, hi, Kathy.
Hi, Richard. What are you doing here?
Having the time of my life.
Oh.
Yay! If my friends can see me now.
Take a 3-, 4-, or 7-day vacation on Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.
I love this ship.
Oh, wonder if they still fit. Ah, so far, so good.
Part of having a great look.
Whoa, good. It's an understatement.
Is keeping it. And Kellogg's Special K can help.
Fit like a glove.
Great toasted taste, just 110 calories, and fat-free.
I look like a teenager. I look like a rock star.
Kellogg's Special K. Great taste never looked so good.
Too bad I can't sing.
He admitted he was a big-time drug dealer. So why a hung jury?
It seems like they didn't want this black man to go to jail for the rest of his life.
It's called jury nullification. Forget the evidence, send a message instead. But if you think black jurors invented it, think again. Eye on America tomorrow on the CBS Evening News.
A jury in Reno, Nevada today ordered the Dow Chemical Company to pay a woman $10 million in punitive damages for health problems from her silicone gel breast implants. This is on top of almost $4 million in compensation the jury awarded the woman just 2 days ago. It's the first time Dow Chemical itself has been found directly and totally liable for the implants manufactured by a subsidiary. When it comes to the health threat from new and exotic super germs, few are faster acting or deadlier than the Ebola virus. And now, the desperate search for a cure may have taken a dramatic turn from a cliffhanger medical detective story to a spy thriller involving secret Soviet germ warfare laboratories. Our health correspondent, Dr. Bob Arnott, picks up the Ebola trail from the Cold War to the hot zone.
Ebola, a highly infectious and lethal virus, caused terror in Zaire this summer, where it killed 244 people. But now Russian military doctors have made a bold claim.
In our experiments, we've been able to cure 100% of patients.
In these once top-secret Russian military labs, doctors have developed a treatment for Ebola using an antibody called IgG. The Russians claim that the IgG protected monkeys infected with Ebola by killing the virus.
International experts have reviewed the published Ebola experiments from the old Soviet Union and found that their program had all of the hallmarks of a biological weapons program, including the ability to grow large quantities of Ebola and even freeze-dry it for later use.
The U.S. Army, concerned that Ebola could be used as a weapon of war, is testing the Russian antibody for use as an antidote.
Developing those effective countermeasures is very important to us because those soldiers out in the battlefield need what we produce.
Working in a laboratory used only for the highest level of biological hazard, Joan Geisbert mixes the Russian IgG with a tube of Ebola virus, enough to kill 10 million people.
From what you've seen so far, is there the possibility that this antibody could neutralize the Ebola virus in a human being?
We've certainly shown in animal models such as guinea pigs that it has that effect. And early in the animal modeling studies using monkeys, we've also shown that it has that effect. So it's a long way from the animal models to treating human patients, but it certainly does have that potential.
CDC Hot Zone Chief C.J. Peters also cautions that the breakthrough so far is only in the laboratory.
This material is, to my knowledge, the first example of the use of antibodies to prevent or interfere with the course of Ebola virus infection.
While neither the CDC nor the Army believe this is a cure, both say they wouldn't hesitate to use the Russian IgG to treat one of their own lab workers should they be exposed to Ebola. Dr. Bob Arnott, CBS News, Fort Detrick, Maryland.
In Baltimore, Johns Hopkins researchers say they may have a new clue in their study of asthma. The conventional wisdom has it that asthma attacks are triggered by allergic sensitivity to pollen, pollution, or other lung irritations. This new evidence indicates the core of the asthma problem may be right in the lung muscles themselves, a defect that keeps them from relaxing normally.
A sparkling ship on crystal waters is coming.
Absolutely gorgeous. It was so much fun.
The perfect lobster is coming.
Our waiters, they would do anything for us, any time.
Perfection is coming.
A gift from the captain.
Memories are coming. 7 days in Royal Caribbean's Mexican Riviera are coming. You've got some Royal Caribbean coming.
My new denture adhesive is Polygrip Free. One of the reasons why Polygrip Free is so important to me is because it has no artificial flavors or colors. Polygrip Free holds my dentures tight. Makes me feel like I have my real teeth again. Polygrip Free.
You know what I hate? Pain. That's why I love Aspercream. When I get minor muscle aches, I just rub it in for fast relief that lasts for hours. And it's odor-free. Why live with pain? You're gonna love it. Aspercream does not contain aspirin.
Who wants to think about light bladder protection all the time? I don't. Because now, Stay Free Serenity has new extra curved pads with Dry Layer Plus to keep them much drier than ordinary maxis, so I feel drier. Try new extra curved pads, only from Stay Free Serenity.
I'm fainting. Walter the dentist is coming over and I got gas. So I take my Lanta Gas Release gel caps. My Lanta Gas has the best and only medicine for gas relief, and an advanced gel cap. Now, I'm my scintillating self again.
I thought I knew it all till you came. Now you cry and I don't know why. What are you thinking? Can you dream? So maybe I don't know it all. Like making the right decisions for your future. You're the helpless one, but I'm the one who needs a hand now.
There is more at stake now. Ask a Merrill Lynch financial consultant who can help with a plan and more ways to make the plan work than anyone else. The difference is planning. The difference is Merrill Lynch.
Have you seen the new CBS This Morning?
Oh, it was so exciting.
I thought it was excellent.
I'm going to watch it every day.
Join the crowd.
Israel today declared a terrorist alert and imposed restrictions on Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank. Troops turned back all students and vehicles trying to enter Israel from Gaza. Israel is bracing for new attacks by the radical and militant Islamic Jihad, which blames Israeli agents for the assassination of its founder in Malta. Israel has not admitted any involvement in the killing. Parisians have been living under the threat of radical Islamic terrorism since midsummer, and the widespread presence of troops and extra police has done little to calm their fears. As correspondent Mark Phillips reports, spirits are down, and so is tourism.
On the suburban Paris train line that has already been bombed twice by terrorists in recent months, commuters and fear ride the rails these days.
I think about bombs. I look under my seat. If not, there is a bomb.
To see if there's a bomb.
Yeah.
Something has changed in Paris. Not only are people as likely to be looking for bombs as at the city's famous monuments, but after 5 terrorist bombings, causing 7 deaths and almost 200 injuries in just over 3 months, this is a city under siege. Algerian terrorists working in France have unsettled the French, scared away many tourists, and made others question what they're doing here.
We took the metro in, and I stood there and thought about it.
It's taken the night away and turned the bright boulevards into a world of shadows and guns as the army has been brought onto the streets. Even in the famous nightclubs, where the dancers now put on a show that seems like an exercise in nostalgia, they've had to go down to one show a night from the usual two. The crowds just aren't there, and the dancers, like American Nicole Graham, know they have to tread more carefully beyond the footlights.
You know, I was actually in the metro 4 hours before the first bomb went off at Saint Michel, but I can't live my life being afraid every minute.
Paris may still be trying to promote, with more and more desperation, its old image as the city of light. But with all that's gone wrong here, and with so little prospect of it going right anytime soon, the city of light seems to have descended into what may be a long night of darkness. France's problems have to do with more than the terrorists lurking within its large North African community. But the bombings seem to have amplified the country's other woes, an economy still mired in recession and a discredited political leadership. Worse, the bombings have disrupted what the French hold most dear, their sense of comfort and security.
It was not like this before in France. You feel secure, but now you feel like I'm feeling like taking a plane and going, I don't know where.
But escape will be more difficult than that from a France that seems stuck in a tunnel of despair. Mark Phillips, CBS News, Paris.
Word today that award-winning author, screenwriter, and satirist Terry Southern died here in New York overnight. He was 71. Among Terry Southern's best-known writing for film, 1964's Dr. Strangelove, a Cold War paranoia satire with a nuclear punchline.
If you've been drinking Ensure, there's a little something you should know. Sustacal has more protein, less fat, and about twice as much calcium. No, Sustacal can't add years to your life, but it might help add life to your years.
This is a really beautiful day. Soup weather. There's this cream of chicken with vegetables from Healthy Choice, and that is rich stuff. Great big vegetables, lean chicken. Just makes you feel good. And only has 2 grams of fat. Beautiful. With Healthy Choice, I can eat what I like. Ricola.
All natural Ricola herb cough drops from Switzerland. Now available in more convenient locations.
To build something that endures takes hard-working people. People who care. People with vision. And the strength to see the job through. We know. Since 1904, that's how we've built a name for ourselves in financial services. Providian. Insurance, credit, and retirement savings.
It happens in the hospital. It happens at home. It's the onset of heartburn. It's an attack of acid indigestion. For these stomach flare-ups, the #1 choice of hospitals is Maalox. Hospitals know that nothing works faster to rush heartburn relief. Now, you know it too. Fast-acting Maalox. Hospitals can count on it for speed. And that's just what you need. Maalox, the first choice for hospitals, the fast choice for home. In fast-acting Maalox tablets too.
Finally tonight, fighting back against crime. In Detroit, it is Devil's Night, and 25,000 volunteers will be on the street and on the lookout for arson, which has become a pre-Halloween tradition in Detroit. In Pasadena, California, Halloween shooting murders have led to a campaign against gun violence. Jerry Bowen has that story of Guns N' Roses for tonight's Eye on America.
Once upon a time, Pasadena, California was simply the city of roses.
The attackers were hiding in the bushes near...
But that changed 2 years ago with the nightmare on Wilson Avenue, the Halloween massacre of '93.
They're not armed with any guns. They were not armed with anything but their innocence.
3 teenaged boys were killed that night in a gang ambush, victims of mistaken identity. Deborah Bush remembers her son Stephen died 6 houses from home.
And their innocence is what got them killed.
And this was where the bodies?
Yes, right in here.
Reverend George Regas remembers that night, too, the night Pasadena changed to the city of guns and roses.
Pasadena, this violent city that flows in blood, is everybody's backyard.
George Regas decided it was time to fight back.
We are saying no to the insanity and idiocy of guns.
And hundreds of others joined him in the Coalition for a Nonviolent City. They hold vigils for those killed. The latest, number 15, will be held in a few days.
And one of the things you do is take on the NRA.
It was a huge battle.
Not my country! They took on the gun lobby and won. Not gun control, but bullet control. Ammunition registration is now the law, part of the effort to deny firepower to the gangs. A wasted effort, say the critics.
Only a fool would think that if you tell criminals you have to write your name down when you buy their ammunition, they're going to stop committing crimes. Simple solutions are all that our city councils seem to be able to come up with.
Pasadena police say the new law hasn't solved any crimes yet, and its impact on crime prevention is difficult to measure. But it is a powerful symbol, a signal that Pasadena's had enough of gangs and guns.
How many people have ever been lying in their beds at night and heard gunshots? How's that make you feel?
And so the coalition goes to schools to help the very young deal with fear and gangs.
We might not have no weapons, but we got a lot of hearts.
Ex-gang members are sent out to spread the message of peace.
I walk around with a bullet in my arm every day as a reminder to let me know the dangers of guns.
And the consequences of violence when peace fails.
Nice, let me see that. Let me see that. Let me see that. Bow!
And 2 years later, Deborah Bush waits for justice. In court every day now at the trial of the accused killers. Her way of standing up to the gangs, even when others who may know something are afraid to.
I don't know if they killed them kids or not. People say, well, the killing hasn't stopped. Well, no, it hasn't stopped. But if you are under the impression that you can do nothing about it, then nothing will get done.
And in the City of Roses on this second anniversary of the Halloween massacre, doing nothing is no longer an option that many people are willing to live with. In Pasadena, this is Jerry Bowen for Eye on America.
And that's part of our world tonight. Harry Smith and Paula Zahn will be along first thing tomorrow with CBS This Morning. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. Good night.
CBS News. Have you seen your country today?
Next on the news at 6, despite evidence suggesting she's innocent, this woman will stay in prison for a murder she claims she didn't commit.
Oregon's most popular museum says it must make cuts. Why is OMSI letting some staffers go?
And you'll hear how a business that started in an Oregon garage is trying to put you on the internet.
And we'll give some life-saving advice for Halloween. News, sports, and the latest forecast next from the News Center.
Come in from the cold with the instant warmth and the high efficiency of a natural gas fire. It's the best way to make a house a home. The Osborne Bay Vista. Enjoy the beauty of an Osborne gas flame from just about anywhere in the room. Whether you choose an insert, a freestanding stove, or new construction model, the Osborne one-piece bay window provides a captivating view of the realistic flames and glowing embers. For heater-rated, high-efficiency Osborne craftsmanship, see one of these authorized dealers today. Natural gas hearth products. It doesn't...